Alright guys, we are back again with a new video with the title Comedian Humiliates Trump in Hilarious Viral Moment. I'm covering US politics and I'm interested in US politics. That's why I bring important videos about politics, about US politics. So please, if you are also interested, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Let's start the video without wasting any time and I'll give my review in the end of the video. So please make sure to watch the video till the end. Okay.
Happy Sunday, everybody. I woke up today on the wrong side of the bed in regard to politics. Was looking through, trying to find stories that I could discuss today and getting ready for tomorrow's show. Was just irked by so much of it. All of the same people, so many of them being so dang dishonest, and these talking points that seem so obviously ridiculous, but convince so many people. And so as I was trying to decide what do I want to cover that's not going to make me so bothered, I remembered that something earlier in the week had made me laugh a lot, and so I was trying to remember what that was, and then remembered that it was a moment from Sarah Cooper, who's a comedian, and went super viral for these hilarious impressions of Trump and mocking the absurdity of him through these impressions. So what we're going to do is start with that. This is from 2020, these moments again that many of you've likely seen because of how viral they were.
The
and then
moments
get
are
to
from
some other
2020.
things that I do want to talk about, specifically a follow-up segment to the one I did yesterday on Trump at a rally, saying that Nikki Haley is to blame for January 6th and was in charge of security. Wild. And as he's trying to blame Nikki Haley there, or as he is blaming her for January 6th and trying to obfuscate the responsibility away from himself, he is meaning to blame Nancy Pelosi. Also crazy, but a lie we're used to. Not used to him saying Nikki Haley, which was an obvious, crazy, cognitive gaffe. So the follow-up part of it is Nikki Haley now criticizing Trump for that. And then we'll look at a different Republican, Ralph Norman, criticizing Trump for that, and end on a Biden-Harris ad that is brutal, mocking Trump. First, let's laugh a little. Let's just have a little bit of lighthearted stuff here as we're in a pretty dark political moment with comedian Sarah Cooper. And it's on the subject of Trump insisting he's cognitively there, as he did at the very rally where he had that cognitive gaffe, something that no one ever says when they are cognitively there.
Acuity test, and he said there actually is, and he named it, whatever it might be. And it was 30 or 35 questions. The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult. Like a memory question, it's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, that's very good. If you get it in order, you get extra points. Okay, now he's asking you other questions, and then 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question? Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV. If you get it in order, you get extra points. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy. And that's not an easy question. In other words, they ask it to you, they give you 5 names and you have to repeat them, and that's okay. If you repeat them out of order, it's okay, but you know, it's not as good. But then when you go back about 20, 25 minutes later and they say, go back to that question, they don't tell you this, go back to that question and repeat them. Can you do it? And you go, person, woman, man, camera, TV. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that? I do it because I have like a good memory, because I'm cognitively there.
Okay. So strange. So the test that he was bragging about there in 2020 is the Montreal Cognitive Assessment. And he specifically is referencing the end of it's a little harder, right? NBC News, as I pointed out previously, reports some of the last 5 questions that Trump was referring to include naming the time and place that you're in, as well as repeating a series of words that you were asked to remember earlier in the test. And that's proof, a dementia screening exam, that he's cognitively there. Very much so. The strongest, the biggest of the cognition Trump has. And here's another moment from Sarah Cooper, then we'll get to the story I referred to.
Because he hasn't taken any cognitive tests because he couldn't pass one. I actually took one when I very recently when I was, the radical left was saying, "Is he all there? Is he all there?" And I proved I was all there because I aced it. I aced the test, and he should take the same exact test, a very standard test. I took it at Walter Reed Medical Center. In front of doctors, and they were very surprised. They said, "That's an unbelievable thing. Rarely does anybody do what you just did." But he should take that same test. But
Okay. So there it is. And he does often take time out of his rallies, as I've said, to insist that he's sharp as a tack. Then, moments later, gives us reason to believe otherwise. And one of those moments was this at his speech in Concord, New Hampshire.
By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. Nikki Haley, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything?
Lie.
Deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, whatever they want. They turned it down. They don't want to talk about that.
And again, he's trying to lie. He's messing up his lie, but even his lie is outrageous. So there, he's trying to say that Nancy Pelosi had some power over the National Guard, but the president technically has control of the National Guard. Then the president typically delegates that to the Secretary of Defense, who typically delegates it to the Secretary of the Army. So just completely wrong on what he's trying to say in blaming Nancy Pelosi, then definitely wrong on him trying to blame Nikki Haley. And here was Nikki Haley's response.
Last night, Trump is at a rally, and he's going on and on mentioning me multiple times as to why I didn't take security during the Capitol riots. Why I didn't handle January 6th better. I wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th. I wasn't in office then. They're saying he got confused, that he was talking about something else. He was talking about Nancy Pelosi. He mentioned me multiple times in that scenario. The concern I have is, I'm not saying anything derogatory, but when you're dealing with the pressures of a presidency, we can't have someone else that we question whether they're mentally fit to do this. We can't.
And this is new for Republicans. It's been largely ignored by them. Obviously, Nikki Haley has every reason in the world to point these sorts of things out because she's running against him, but still, her, DeSantis, and other Republican presidential candidates have been so lightly critical of Trump and not wanting to touch certain things, and this has been one of them. Now, finally calling attention to it, as we've been trying to do for some time. Then here's someone who endorsed Nikki Haley, Ralph Norman, who's a Republican congressman, saying a similar thing.
He got her confused yesterday with Nancy Pelosi on the January 6th with the National Guard. And I would say 25 years ago, he wouldn't have made that mistake. But he kept saying Nikki Haley did this, with the National Guard. He was talking about Nancy Pelosi. And that's another example of he wouldn't have made that mistake if he was younger. But
Congressman, let me ask you before you go, why are you one of the only elected officials in South Carolina?
Shannon Bream. Yeah. Okay, move on. Again, I just have to keep saying this. He's trying to say Nancy Pelosi is to blame and has control over the National Guard. Wrong. And said Nikki Haley. So two big concerning elements of that statement, and lied about the January 6th Select Committee deleting and destroying all the evidence to cover up the fact that there's actually a truth we don't know about January 6th that makes Trump no longer in the wrong. It's really dangerous stuff.
Did you really think Trump is lying about January 6th? Well, if I talk about the speech of Trump, whenever Trump speaks, I enjoyed his speech a lot. I don't know why. Whenever Biden speaks, he's like a very serious man. He speaks a serious stuff always. So I enjoy the speech of Donald Trump. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I'm not a fan of Biden. I'm just a neutral person right now. Are you supporting Biden? Are you supporting Trump? You can tell me about your opinion in the comment section. So That's it for now. I'll see you in the next video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Give your precious seconds to subscribe to my channel so that we can meet again. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.